Problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And if B, the CEO, goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show, or man, that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people. And this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racist on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day, that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it.
Ian's belief in an anti-Trump agenda, along with the same tired push for socialist ideas, has led to a mess that people are no longer willing to tolerate. The fallout has been more than political. Feels like a slow train wreck that finally jumped the tracks.
You said tempers reached a boiling point backstage at The View between Whoopi Goldberg and TV judge Jeanine Pirro.
Republican presidential candidate Tim Scott facing some of his harshest liberal media critics head on.
Not going very well for the ladies at The View. Whoopi Goldberg reportedly threatening to quit after getting suspended from the show for 2 weeks over her comment about the Holocaust. Whoopi's co-hosts are said to be furious with the decision. Here's how the show very briefly.
Tyrus, the former wrestler turned political commentator, didn't hold back this time. He pushed back against Whoopi Goldberg and the whole crew at The View, and he didn't do it quietly. The View has crossed the line so many times that it has become routine, and the hosts never seem to face real consequences. Whoopi's past remarks about the Holocaust are a clear example. In this breakdown, we go through the moment Tyrus took the entire panel to task on live television.
It's not about race, because it's about man's inhumanity.
Breaking news overnight, The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg suspended for 2 weeks for her comments.
He addressed the situation directly during a Fox News segment, where he called out Whoopi and her co-hosts without hesitation. His comments were blunt enough to make anyone pause. Whoopi was suspended for 2 weeks after her remarks triggered widespread outrage, yet the network still brought her back as if the controversy never happened. Tyrus used that moment to show how the show avoids accountability while continuing to stir division.
People you're not comfortable with. And what we saw on that show was Whoopi was going down, her own personal beliefs were coming out, and her peers said she's hanging herself, let's enjoy the fire.
Really? You think that?
Asked her a question again to get her to repeat it. Then you saw when your friend has been suspended,
He then shifted to Sunny Hostin, who has openly attacked millions of white women for voting Republican, framing it as if their choices were a flaw in their character rather than a political decision.
Also surprising to me is the abortion issue. I read a poll just yesterday that white Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican. Why? It's almost like roaches voting for rain, right? It's insulting to the voter. They're voting against their own self-interest. They want to live in Gilead. Okay, so do we love democracy or not? Because
He also called out Joy Behar's behavior during her exchange with Speaker Caroline Lever. Behar turned the moment into a chaotic rant that felt more like a parody of political commentary than anything based in reason. It was another example of how quickly The View slips into theatrics instead of honest discussion.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous
This is the first time.
The show no longer resembles a talk show. It feels more like a stage for loud outbursts, personal insults, and commentary that ignores basic logic. When Tyrus joined Greg Gutfeld and the other panelists on November 15, 2024, they talked about how Hollywood media was struggling to adjust after the presidential election. Tyrus made it clear that people are tired of the double standards and the smug attitude coming from shows like The View. He spoke with a clarity that cut through the usual noise.
5 words.
The times are a-changin'. Jim, I'm going to give you 3 great things that are happening. The LA Times is replacing its entire editorial board to more closely reflect all opinions. After Donald Trump's landslide win, Hollywood claims it's going to be more welcoming to conservative actors.
Some people in the industry are looking for a shift away from the constant pressure to be woke. And the panel pointed out how strange it was that The View seemed interested in hiring a Trump supporter. It raised questions about how long the show could keep up its old act.
Apparently, The View is desperate to find a Trumper to join. How long do you think this is going?
The surprise grew when Tyrus mentioned Meghan McCain. He reminded everyone how she was treated by Whoopi and the rest of the panel. Their behavior toward her was harsh, dismissive, and often personal. Now the idea that they would bring in another conservative voice feels out of character. Tyrus didn't hesitate to question the sudden change.
Stop covering those rallies of his. That's my one recommendation. It just empowers him more.
Yeah. That seems like a logical response to that question. I mean, come on, we're talking about social media's impact, and we jump to Trump's rally.
I jump wherever I damn please, okay? That's twice. Let me say that.
Not the topic.
That's twice. I'm not allowed to change the subject if I want to.
I just thought we were talking about social media.
All right, so you talk about it then.
No, I'm fine.
Go ahead.
You mentioned
Here's what's happening now. We're gonna, girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now. Because you know what?
What he uncovered was a picture of a show that has drifted far from its original purpose. The View has become a place where hostility has replaced honest debate. The cheerful front has slipped away, revealing something much more toxic.
Even that, and The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler?
What's her name?
The broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being attacked.
The audience responded strongly to Tyrus's breakdown. He didn't dodge names or soften his points. He called out each issue directly, and people appreciated the honesty. Whether you agree with him or not, he said what many viewers have been thinking for a long time.
You know, Emily.
A lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep.
So
and they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
After Trump's win in the 2024 election, many on the left had a dramatic public meltdown. The View's reaction was one of the most extreme. The hosts responded with emotional tirades that felt disconnected from reality. Tyrus wasn't the only one to notice, but he was among the few willing to address it openly on live television.
All that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when nothing really comes to mind. I was like, cha-ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They call him Hitler, they call these things. America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game.
He delivered a forceful critique because he had reached the limit of what he was willing to ignore. From calling out their behavior to highlighting the collapse of their arguments, he made it clear that he wasn't interested in playing nice. Tyrus exposed every part of the show's dysfunction. Whether you see it as the best roast ever is up to you, but it's hard to deny he said what many others were afraid to say.